Try facing a paradox that very few people are willing to look at directly. The moment that determines whether someone survives a heart attack often does not happen at the hospital. It happens right inside the home that feels like the safest place of all. There is no alarm. There is no doctor. There is no one watching you struggle to take a deep breath, while your chest feels like it is being squeezed tight. The ironic thing is this. Most older adults believe they will recognize the dangerous moment, that the body will send a clear signal. But reality is far more unforgiving. Many people only feel a bit short of breath, a slight heaviness in the chest, or a quick flash of pain, and just a few minutes later, it becomes too late to turn things around. Cardiology experts around the world have confirmed a troubling truth. Most deaths do not happen because people lack medication or do not have a phone, but because they do not know how to respond in the very first seconds. Imagine the following scenario. Not to frighten you, but to help you understand why what you are about to learn could genuinely mean life or death. A man in his early 60s lives in a bright, tidy, peaceful apartment. He stands up from his chair and suddenly feels a strange pressure pushing down the center of his chest. It is not intense pain, it is just uncomfortable. He thinks, I probably ate a little too much for dinner. 5 minutes later, he collapses onto the floor. Somewhere else, an older woman is folding laundry when both her ears suddenly buzz and her breathing becomes short. She sits down just to rest for a bit. 7 minutes later, no one can hear her calling for help. In both situations, one thing is the same. They were healthier than they realized, but they did not know what to do the moment the symptoms began. And here is the part that has startled many medical professionals. The survival rate for people who are alone increases dramatically when they know just 5 simple actions to take within the first 1 to 2 minutes. Not machines, not complicated medical skills, not rare medication, just 5 actions that most older adults have never been taught. In this video, you will discover techniques that are not popular internet tricks, but strategies, built on scientific data recommendations from reputable healthcare organizations and research, on what happens to the human body when it enters a crisis state. And before you tell yourself, I am healthy, I probably do not need to worry. Remember this, a heart attack does not ask your age. It does not wait for you to calm down, and it definitely does not wait for you to search the internet. What you are about to learn might not only save your life, it could save the life of someone you care about, who also lives alone, or who often spends long periods without anyone nearby to assist them. There will be no long introduction, no gentle warm-up, because this is not a story for entertainment. This is a survival map, and you need it right now, while everything is still normal, while your heart is still strong enough to absorb every detail. Keep your attention steady, because in just a few seconds, you will step into the 5 strategies that can extend the life of anyone during the most solitary moment of their existence. Tip number 5. Activate the survival light ring, a built-in rescue system for the most critical seconds. There is a truth that no one wants to face. Most people who do not survive a heart attack are not lost because they lack medication, and not because they lack a phone, but because they are no longer conscious enough to perform one basic action: calling for help. When the brain suddenly loses oxygen, it acts like a flickering light bulb, and within seconds, everything goes dark. Alone inside a silent home, no one realizes you are fighting to breathe. This is why you must prepare a survival light ring in advance, a network that can activate with a small movement, a final breath, or even a fall. Imagine a scenario completely different from what you usually picture. It is not someone collapsing out of nowhere. It is a quiet kind of chaos. An older adult steps into the hallway to get a glass of water, feels a slight heaviness in the chest, but keeps walking. In less than half a minute, the legs give out, as if they no longer belong to the body. This person cannot call anyone's name, cannot remember phone numbers, and cannot even recognize where they are inside their own familiar home. It is in that moment, when consciousness slips away, that everything you prepared beforehand becomes the only thing pulling you back toward life. There are 3 elements that create a truly effective rescue system, and each of them must function even when you cannot move or think clearly. The unreliable memory of a loxygen brain, and how to outsmart that limit when oxygen drops. The brain no longer prioritizes logic or memory. Instead, it pushes all remaining energy toward the most basic survival functions. This means you can forget your own address, forget how to unlock your phone, and forget the emergency routine you thought you knew by heart. To counter this, you must create visual cues, strong enough that even when your awareness is fading, your body can still react out of habit. Write your full address, any door codes, the name of your building, and your personal phone number on a brightly colored board. Do not use pale colors. Do not use small letters. Choose high contrast colors, neon yellow, bright red, burning orange shades. The brain can still detect even when you are on the verge of fainting. Place this board next to where you keep your phone, next to your front door, and at the spot where you sit most often. When everything becomes blurry, the brain responds only to strong color signals and familiar placement. You must turn your survival information into a visual anchor. Small technology that can be stronger than the person standing next to you today. Personal monitoring devices can detect changes in heart rhythm and even send out a call for help when you can, not press a button yourself. You do not need anything expensive. Many people have survived because of simple devices that can send a distress signal even when you are unconscious, that are waterproof so no one removes them while bathing, and that can connect to family members or a 24-hour support center. But here is the mistake many people make. They do not wear the device consistently. They take it off when they sleep. They leave it on the table during a shower. They forget it when stepping onto the balcony. A heart attack often chooses the moment when you are least prepared. This device must be treated like a second layer of skin, never leaving your body. Countless survival cases were made possible because the device activated automatically when someone collapsed in the bathroom, the most dangerous place, where no one hears a call for help. Human beings, the survival circle. You cannot replace yourself. Your neighbors do not have to know every detail of your health, but one trusted person who lives nearby can be the difference between 7 minutes of waiting and 20 minutes of no one finding you. Give them a spare key or your door code. One person is enough, but it must be someone who understands that if you do not move around as usual, if your lights stay off longer than normal, or if your home is unusually quiet, they need to check on you immediately. No one likes to bother others, but when your heart needs help, hesitation is a luxury you cannot afford. In short, tip number 5 is not just about setting up emergency contact, it is about creating an environment where even if you cannot move or speak, something else can speak for you. Tip number 4, position your way to life. The body posture that helps the heart win back precious seconds. If a heart attack is a sudden storm, then your body posture is the final anchor that keeps you from being swept away too quickly. This is not a simple trick, like sit down to feel better. It is a physiological strategy that has been researched for decades. The right posture can determine how long you stay conscious enough to call for help, to breathe, and to survive. Picture this for a moment. You feel a strange pressure. Not the intense crushing pain people often imagine, but more like an invisible hand pressing down on the center of your chest. Air enters your lungs a little less. The world around you feels lighter, almost like waking up from a deep sleep. Many people, out of fear, either lie flat immediately or try to stand up and walk around. But those two seemingly harmless reactions can slow blood flow and push you closer to the edge. You need a specific posture, a posture that forces your body to cooperate instead of fight against you. The body in panic, the traitor within in moments of danger. The body does not think logically. It reacts with primal instinct. Stand up, run, find a place to lie down. But a heart attack is not like an external injury. It needs stability, reduced pressure, and a position where the heart does the least amount of work possible. If you lie completely flat right away, blood can rush back to the heart too quickly, overwhelming a muscle that is already struggling. If you stand and try to walk, your blood pressure may drop sharply, causing dizziness, loss of balance, or collapse in a place far away from your phone. Both reactions are dangerous, and both are things older adults tend to do automatically. The semi-sitting posture, the survival angle your heart can tolerate best when the pain appears. Slow everything down. Do not rush. Do not twist your body suddenly. Gently lower yourself onto a chair, a bed, or lean against a wall. Position your body as if you are sitting back, but slightly reclined, around 40 to 50 degrees. Not too upright, not too flat. This is the angle where gravity supports the heart the most. In this position, blood flows back to the heart at a controlled level, not too much. The lungs open more fully, making each breath count. Blood pressure stabilizes, and your brain receives enough oxygen to keep you conscious longer. Keep both feet on the floor or on the bed, with your knees slightly bent. This reduces abdominal tension and allows your diaphragm to work more efficiently. Let your head, neck, and back rest against something solid. A wall, a headboard, a sofa. When your muscles tense from fear and your body shakes slightly, a firm support prevents those tremors from making you lose balance or feel more panicked. When the word blurs, how to fall safely without creating more danger. If the light begins to blur, your ears ring, or your legs feel weaker than usual, that is a sign you may be about to faint. Do not panic. Do not try to stand. Slowly lean to one side, grab the edge of a chair or bed, and slide yourself down to the floor in a controlled way. Do not let your body drop suddenly. Once on the ground, lie on your side. Bend one leg slightly to keep your body from rolling onto your back. This position lowers the risk of choking if you vomit or lose consciousness, something that happens far more often than people think. And most importantly, do not let instinct pull you toward the outdoors or into the bathroom. Those two places are the highest risk locations for death in emergencies when you are alone. You must stay where you are easiest to find, easiest to reach, and least likely to injure yourself when falling. Clothing, the silent enemy that makes breathing harder. Many people do not realize that during oxygen shortage, the body becomes extremely sensitive to pressure from everyday clothing. Belts, tight collars, scarves, fitted tops. We do not feel that pressure during normal times. But during a heart attack, every millimeter of restriction makes breathing harder. Loosen everything. Unbutton your shirt. Release your belt. Remove scarves. Avoid covering yourself with too many blankets if you are sweating. You do not need to remove your clothing. Only give your chest enough room to expand more easily. The right posture does not cure a heart attack, but it buys you time, and time is life. The right posture does not replace medication, does not replace doctors, but it extends the minutes during which you remain conscious, able to speak, able to call for help. It is the bridge between the moment your heart weakens and the moment a medical professional reaches you. Sitting the right way, breathing the right way, not moving unnecessarily. These are the ways you stand with your heart during its most vulnerable moment. Tip number 3. The breath that interrupts panic. The technique that keeps your heart calm when everything is falling apart. There is a harsh truth that very few older adults have ever been told. A heart attack does not always begin with pain. Sometimes it begins with invisible panic, a skipped breath, a moment when you feel something is not right without knowing why. When that happens, your instinct will push you to breathe faster to get more oxygen. But that instinct is the very thing that pulls you into danger the fastest. When you breathe quickly, your body mistakenly believes you are running from a threat. Your heart rate rises, your blood pressure swings, your arteries tighten, and the one thing your heart needs most, stability, disappears completely. This is why you must learn to command your breath. A technique that helps you regain control at the exact moment your senses are betraying you. Breathing in panic. The doorway to an even worse storm. In real situations, most older adults experiencing early signs of a heart attack fall into psychological panic before the true pain even peaks. And that panic creates what is known as a negative physiological spiral. Rapid breathing gives less oxygen entering the lungs, gives the heart has to work harder, gives chest tightness increases, gives breathing becomes harder, gives panic intensifies. This spiral can turn a partially blocked artery into a much more dangerous event. Most importantly, it makes you lose consciousness faster. That is why you must stop the spiral at the very first step. You must control your breath before it sweeps you away. The heart-softening breathing technique. Slow, deep, intentional. This technique is not yoga, not meditation, and not anything abstract. It is a method proven by physiology experts. The lungs can send signals back to the brain, forcing the nervous system to slow down the heart. Follow each step, even if you are barely conscious. Breathe in through your nose for 4 slow counts. You do not need to widen your chest. Imagine the air traveling straight down to your lower abdomen. Your belly lifts. That is how you know you are doing it correctly. Hold your breath for 3 to 4 counts. Do not hold it with tension. Hold it gently as if you are lightly cradling the breath. Exhale slowly for 6 to 7 counts through slightly closed lips. Exhaling longer is not an accident. It naturally slows your heart by activating the rest and restore nervous system. Repeat this cycle. The slow rhythm is the medicine you give yourself. When you breathe correctly, something strange will happen. The heaviness in your chest eases. Your mind clears slightly, your pulse settles, your body shakes less. Why? Because you are no longer reacting instinctively. You are taking control of your survival system. The hidden power of diaphragm breathing. Adults usually breathe with their chest, especially during stressful moments. But during a heart attack, that is the worst thing you can do. Chest breathing pulls in less oxygen, tightens muscles, forces the heart to beat harder. Diaphragm breathing fully expands the lungs, reduces strain on the heart muscle, stabilizes blood pressure, and improves blood flow to the brain. The interesting thing is, your body knew how to do this when you were a newborn. But over time, you forgot. Now is the time to reclaim that skill. Place one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. If the hand on your belly rises more, gives you a helping your heart. If the hand on your chest moves strongly, gives you need to adjust. Your breath speaks for you when you can no longer speak. If you are calling emergency services, softly count each breath out loud. Not to sound calm or composed, but because the operator will know you are still conscious. They can hear your breathing pattern and assess your condition more accurately. And most importantly, the counting keeps your mind from sinking into panic. Think of your breath as the rope that keeps you tethered to reality. Breathing does not fix a blockage, but it buys you what every heart needs. Time to wait for help. A heart attack can feel like a door slowly closing. You cannot stop it from closing immediately. But with the right breathing, you can hold the gap open longer. Long enough for light to slip through. Every correct breath is a message to your body. Stay calm. We still have a chance. Tip number 2. Open the door to survival. Do not let your heart fight inside a sealed home. What causes many people to lose their chance of surviving a heart attack when they are alone is not the pain. It is not the lack of a phone. It is not because they are too weak to call for help. It is the door. A locked door can slow rescuers by several minutes, even more than 10 minutes. And during a heart attack, those minutes are the line between being saved and being found too late. The heartbreaking truth is this. Most people who collapse inside their own homes never realized that the very place they thought was safest could turn into a sealed box, trapping them inside. That is why tip number 2 has nothing to do with medication or medical techniques. It has to do with opening the path to life. When symptoms appear, the first action is not to sit down. It is to open the door. You need to imagine this situation clearly. You feel heaviness in your chest, shortness of breath, tingling in your hands. You know something is wrong, but you have not collapsed. This is the golden moment. This is not the time to check your blood pressure, not the time to get a drink of water, not the time to search for medication in the cabinet. Your first action must be walk to the front door and open it. Why? Because most patients can only stay mobile for the first 3 to 5 minutes. Once you collapse or lie in a recovery position, you will not be able to stand up and unlock anything. And emergency responders must break the door, call a locksmith, or wait for a building manager, all of which delay their access to you. An open door is a silent message. I prepared, I want to live. Create a corridor of light, so rescuers can spot your home instantly. Imagine emergency responders racing toward your address. Dozens of homes, hundreds of identical windows, dark pathways, and house numbers hidden behind trees. Every second they spend identifying the correct home is a second your heart must struggle alone. So you must make everything unmistakably clear. Turn on all the lights in your home, including the hallway and living room. If it is daytime, hang something bright at the door, a red scarf, a yellow shirt, anything that catches the eye. If you live in an apartment building, call the front desk or security right after calling emergency services so they can guide the ambulance. This is not hoping for the best. This is optimizing response time, which emergency medicine considers the strongest weapon in any cardiac event. The key box. A small device that saves those who cannot open the door. One of the quiet innovations that has saved countless people living alone is a key box outside the door, a small metal box mounted near your entrance. Inside is a spare key. Rescuers only need the code you previously registered. These boxes are built to withstand weather, force, and heat. Many local areas even allow you to register your code directly with the emergency team. That means when you call, they already know the unlock code before they even reach your home. This is not a convenience item. It is a backup entrance you open in advance, in case you cannot do it at the most dangerous moment. Sound signals the call for help when you can no longer speak. Not everyone can shout during a heart attack. Many lose their voice due to lack of oxygen. But sound, even a soft one, remains the most effective way for neighbors or rescuers to find you quickly. Prepare a small whistle attached to your keychain, a second whistle by your bedside, a mini alarm if possible. A short whistle can travel through walls far better than a weak voice. And in a race against time, sound becomes your survival beacon. Turn your home into a space designed to save you, not trap you. A truly safe home is not the one with the strongest locks and tightest doors. It is the one that knows how to let the right people in at the right time. From opening your door, turning on lights, creating signals, to setting up a spare key system, all of these are intentional steps, not to defend against bad people, but to let the good ones reach you fast enough. When a heart attack hits, your survival depends on two things: how long your body stays conscious, and how quickly rescuers can reach you. Tip number 2 is the bridge between those two realities. Tip number 1. Activate the survival key. Your first 3 minutes decide the fate of your heart. There is a truth the medical community has known for decades, yet most older adults have never heard it. If you use the right medication in the right way, within the first 3 minutes, your heart can be protected almost as effectively as if an emergency specialist were standing right next to you. It is not a miracle. It is not advanced machinery. It is a tiny pill so small you could drop it without hearing a sound. Nitroglycerin. The name may feel unfamiliar, but it is the final shield, the biological cushion that helps the heart reopen the flow of blood being squeezed shut by a blockage inside the artery. The sad reality is this: many people own it but do not know how to use it. Many have a prescription but leave it in a drawer. Many keep the right medication but take it at the wrong moment. And by the time they realize they need it, it is already too late. To understand why tip number 1 is placed at the very top, you must picture what is truly happening inside the heart the moment a heart attack begins. The heart in emergency mode. A race between blood and time. When blood flow to the heart is blocked, oxygen cannot reach where it is needed. The heart muscle begins to suffocate, and cell by cell, it weakens and dies. This process happens quietly, even if all you feel is a little heaviness or shortness of breath. Nitroglycerin works like a key that unlocks the blood vessels, widening them quickly so blood can move more freely for a short window of time. It does not heal the damage, but it buys time. Time for you to call for help. Time for the heart muscle to stop dying. Time that protects your life until the very last moment. But it only works if you use it correctly. The moment symptoms appear, sit down and prepare to activate your survival key. The first thing you must remember is this: never stand while taking nitroglycerin. It widens the blood vessels, and that can cause your blood pressure to drop rapidly. If you're standing, you could collapse before the pill even has a chance to work. So, sit down immediately. Lean your back against a wall, a chair, or anything stable. Keep your feet firmly planted on the floor or bed. Let your body stabilize before doing anything else. Place the pill under your tongue. Do not chew, do not swallow. Do not place it on top of your tongue. Many people use it incorrectly. They swallow it. They place it on the tip of the tongue. They bite the pill thinking it will work faster. But nitroglycerin only becomes effective when absorbed through the blood vessels under the tongue, where it enters the bloodstream almost instantly. You must gently place the pill under your tongue. Let it dissolve on its own. Do not drink water during this time. Within seconds, you may feel a slight burning or a sudden rush toward your temples. That is the sign the medication is working. Count 5 minutes and do not hesitate to repeat. Nitroglycerin is not a one-and-done medication. You must give it time. But you cannot wait too long. Follow the correct sequence. Place the first pill under your tongue. Wait exactly 5 minutes. If symptoms do not improve, take a second pill. Wait another 5 minutes. If nothing improves, take a third pill. And whether you have called or not, this is the moment when you must call emergency services immediately. Never take more than 3 pills within 15 minutes. Because when your heart does not respond after 3 doses, the problem has already gone beyond what medication can control. Nitroglycerin is not meant to be stored. It is meant to be reached within seconds. Many people make the mistake of keeping it in a cabinet, in a drawer, or in a backup medical box. A pill only has value if your hand can reach it. You must store nitroglycerin in the easiest places to access. your bedside table, your living room, your kitchen, your jacket pocket, your car. And always remember, the medication loses strength quickly when exposed to light, air, or heat. So keep it in the dark glass bottle from the manufacturer. Never transfer it into another container. Nitroglycerin cannot stop a heart attack, but it can hold the door to life open for a few more minutes. And sometimes, those minutes are an entire lifetime. Ending the minutes that can change a life after you have gone through each tip and each strategy. You may realize one thing. None of these techniques are miracles. None of these tips replace a doctor, and none of these methods can erase the harsh reality of a heart attack. But they all share one purpose: to extend the time in which you still have a chance. And a chance is something many people never get, simply because they did not know what to do in the moment when it mattered most. Whether you live alone or simply spend long hours in quiet, these 5 tips are your soft armor, silent, lightweight, but always there. They turn moments of chaos into moments of order. They help you stay conscious when everything else is starting to slip out of control. And sometimes, that clarity is what saves you. In life, there are skills people only learn after surviving a crisis. But with a heart attack, the lesson that comes afterward is often a lesson no one is left to learn. That is why you must prepare while you still have the strength to prepare. Write down what is important. Practice breathing correctly while you are still healthy. Place your medication where your hand can reach it within seconds. Tell a neighbor what you need in an emergency. Do not wait for the day your heart speaks up. By then, it may be too late. And if you believe these 5 tips could save someone, send them a message, a simple share, a gentle reminder. You never know who will receive it at the exact moment they need it most. It could be a friend, it could be a parent, it could be your future self. A heart attack does not announce itself, but survival always belongs to those who prepare. And if today you sat down and read all the way to these final lines, it means you have chosen to stand on the side of your heart. Keep going. Protect it. Let these 5 tips become something you know by heart, not out of fear, but because you still have so much to live for, so much to love, and so much to experience. Your heart deserves that preparation.